to sense some ACC Ghana has say Diabua no yatune trending news yede some more and then some day ban the Dimakotene ebi and say Nanado Danko Kufuado ene Roma asofo mpanifo HM enrada edi nkomo na nkomodidie ma ena Nanado Danko Kufuado dia tudwa se ensembia anase ensembia NDC for title franketufo de ma NDC o ka se nkofobia omo every Eastern region omo eye achemfo no omo eye Sakawa boys no nani enye sa ensem no ho.
Seems to be a feature of Ghanaian public life, which is but sometimes one would hope that when things come out, people would comment on them. The comment made by my opponent, Achim Sakawa people.
Sanso and Chirabosom wano ana weye Franketu for Edema Gum, or the Atuja say NPP. Any NDC omunyina omobaye omamwaye na ze say Ghana ni bia deka 100 million enya sem ketwa Asra kese nkomo bibia se na nyumre nso modem ofiri ato akwento for radio Every to sense some is so my ma say they are to need trending news na nyumre yi yede bi be somo e wo fidie so and then some dey ban dey di makotene ebi ene say information minister Kojo Pon Kroma dey atudwa say Homeland Study Group Foundation na omokeka omo na ohwa etwa mu no Kojo Pon Kroma dey atudwa say abinda any edaso edisa ensem na chia wonya ensem no emu.
4 at large, 7 were granted bail by the Circuit Court in Ho on the 6th of May 2020 and to report weekly. A bench warrant has also been issued for the arrest of the 4 fugitives. And then on the 7th of October 2020, the court has adjourned the case to that date so that the case continues after case management. So that case has not been about. All of us have a responsibility to state the fact.
Sa enso ena otumfo say to sumie no asante hene wode atudwa say ohwe ketete dwumadi a afi aban sabehim kena no eye ade bi a eye anigi sempa de emasa na mo aban etu
na de ko na de akwa ma na na yakojiska ekura nso nipa kwanchi okura nso no ana na de ko fi akota kura de konkran nyina eno nso ba ma ka kwan so ho two no sika yesen wo ka kwan ho no rewe no wo wa bua ma ka kwan no so sika no de ko no so tekam ade no na wo ha na eseye bi mema asem ni Ghana asem ajigu yara na de no kure nam so nam be bi na hu na asi yitwitwa yesen krofo twitwa kura de ko ye de bebia enne nyamencha de
Sa enso Nanado Danko Kufuado awaye mampeni wo mema sei na proba o de call so ewo epoye mantem no wo de aba awieye
1992 Achas the baby china mata MPP chia president and minister say ekosusa yesu so ni yeki mo remboso da fire ba to afi be namda the move extra kind of war so what if him is no ejuma na so enia the sounds of form for Nanado
Sa enso ena John Dramani Mahama NDC Franketu for no so enenam Western North Sehi Mpotem ho no de atudwa se oba fertilizer kokwakua no omubenya no free
asem se gafili gadochi ese miakasa medimeni abewu esinana medimse ha yedi akotere ewo koko ejumani mu na be kai se abra ye wa bai koko ejumano ekosuye na ekuafo no
Sa enso ena ni tuapemu Mame Jane Mensa Opoko Ajimai ono so de nani achiremu ewo epuye mantem a wobo entwa omampania be de achire Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so de nani achiremu ewo enkran a otwa ne ntwa bono so ewo eho ene dai ena ban hye se yenuanum nkomai offer ne ye ma wo ewo junior high school form 2 sanso ena SHS form 2 no wo nkonom kotwa wo engumasua eso ene dai ena wo ehya ase ekoye ye ne mpanifo no bi ebo enkomo a nat secretary was Antemantem say ye ne di nkomo a o kirem sa teacher for wo aye krado
in a sense that protection of ourselves is our prime focus. So every teacher knows that whatever he has to do, whether given by the employer or not, every teacher is ready for now. I can assure the public that we are ready to go to school.
And some way and in some auto pin and yet an anyway, yes, Sinkonia, yede eba some more a war a radio so. Sedem dika kind meeting Eddie Edward Donko. A fay yenye bre near fence some no more inchimo emamo. Another day, Ghana Mampeni, His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado, be to mu say, your fast for your ma, any anyone kuma, one more award, junior high school, Form 2, Sanso, and a senior high school. Form 2 no ye be to mu say omo enkonko wie academic year 2019-2020 academic year no eno nti eneda yi eye bosomi a etoso bosomi dune da etoso enum sene aban no ehye no eneda yi ena esi eno nti eneda yi opiem ewo junior high schools sanso na senior high schools a na nkra no omo esuade anya asem ketwa kra na ye ne mpanifo etimi edi enkomo efasa ensem yi eho na eno ena Ashanti region hanyina Nat Secretary Yewura Peter Boaten yene no ebo enkomo ema ochire mu se achechefo omo aye krado efasa ensem no eho na se domo asi aye krado no omo ehwe se mpanifo so ede won PPEs ene other equipment beba begu school mu ama school kwara no so omo etimi abo ho ban every COVID-19 emu,
in a sense that protection of ourselves is our prime focus. So every teacher knows that whatever he has to do, whether given by the employer or not, every teacher is ready for now. I can assure the public that we are ready to go to school.
And you can also...
The safety of the students is what we are saying, that yes, we cannot provide what will go to save the children, but we are doing what will ensure that we have availed ourselves for the task ahead of us. Because if the Ghana Education Service is going to supply, the heads, I believe, that is Conference of Heads of Basic Schools, are in agreement. They are in consultation with the directorates to see how early the district directorates will get them for onward distribution to the schools. But in the secondary schools, it is not a problem because they have their vehicles and other things. So as and when the items are ready and they are invited, they go for them and then distribute. So for that one, it will not be a serious problem in the secondary school. But the challenge has to do with the basic schools, because these are children who roam about, who pass through town, get everywhere before they get to school. And as I'm pleading with the public, it appears we are losing focus on the whole thing. It's as if we have come to normalize it and now life is okay, we can go. But that is more dangerous. Listening to doctors, you can feel that we must not rest on our oars. We all have to join the crusade and take it as seriously as we have to do it.
Eno Peter Boaten was added to just say Oshe senior bino any zoom line for Makamboma or more pete schools are who do mono oko secondary schools are said them peteno esi echo son and idea so any dear na emum junior high school the day adibia ewo form pa.
Today is International Teachers Day, so I think it's proper if I saluted all teachers across the globe with a special emphasis on NAT members, especially those in Ashanti region. I think over the period, getting ready for reopening has not been an easy task. I must commend the Ghana Education Service and then the Ministry of Education to this extent, because they've made strenuous efforts at looking at how to get the schools back. And the teachers have been involved, especially the unions. We have had various stakeholder meetings over and over. However, it has not been the best in the sense that not all the schools as we speak of now have been fumigated, especially the basic schools. So if you even go to see the nature, the atmosphere, how the place looks very bushy and other things like that, it does not tell exactly the needed preparations have been made. However, that does not entirely say that nothing has been done. For the senior secondary schools, they fumigated all of them. So that one, there is no much a problem to that extent. But for the basic schools, that lacked a little. We have not had enough of the fumigation and other things done there.
How about
na osan so the trudwa say personal protective equipment no eno nso schools dodo na ensa entimi enkan bi eno nti aban no mo no homoden se ne be ya schools ahodo no wonsa betimi akan bi na ochirem say secondary schools ahodo no de omo ewo cars a betimi de akwakoje se ba bedru regional officer na so junior high schools de ne de ye na nim say junior high schools ewo mema say no omo eni cars a betimi edi juma ama omo eno nti aban no mo no homoden na onfa enko schools ahodo mu na omo entimi enfa eni juma ewo ho.
Now, because almost every other day you see the trucks offloading, and you see the various institutions also taking them away. I think the challenge has been that we are all looking up to what government does through the ministry and the Ghana Education Service. Indeed, one cannot say that we can have all the schools supplied before school reopens. The challenge has been that we are asking of how many a child should have if you have to do with even the face mask or the nose mask as we have been calling it. The first cohort of students who went to school had it in tranches. They were given, and then later, subsequently, they were given in that order. But it came out as if they were not given the number that was prescribed. But at the end of the day, everybody was given the prescribed number that they were told to have been given. But I think we cannot, as stakeholders, give the challenge only to government and to the Ghana Education Service. We all understand how dangerous the whole thing is. And so if it is worthy that we can also contribute to the cause, we are appealing to all stakeholders to play their role. As I was telling you the last time, for us, Ghana National Association of Teachers, Asante Regional Branch alone, we felt that for government to distribute Veronica buckets, liquid soap, and other things, it may come all right, but then until what time? So the first thing we had to do to help the Ghana Education Service was to provide almost 100 Veronica buckets with 100 gallons of liquid soap. So that will be from our part. We are all calling on other stakeholders to ensure that, yes, the battle cannot be only government, but for the Ghana Education Service, if you can send any of your guys to the regional directorate, you will go and find that they've taken delivery of most of the items and they are on daily basis distributing them.
Eno Peter Boateng regional secretary at the Ghana National Association of Teachers and I attend in Kana Obekaya before so Bekasa no what the abasopo Emma chefo nyina wo mo ewo mem ha sei and I'm say ene day and a wiase nyina ye si won ma ye de bo achechefo abaso eno nti what the abasopo ensem eko Emma achechefo teacher wo ma omo ewo Ghana National Association of Teachers ekuo no emu Emma wo nyina ayiko kese pa ewo eho na opani a ye friend Dr. Owusu ono so ye lecturer ewo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology ono so kasai na afei wo de tudwa se ohwe Ghana yensu ana bibrem yensu a ya na ehadwene ye pa se base yedi emra so a na enso school no yenya abi atum no ojidi esenhyehyɛ papa ebegu akwanu sɛ de nhyehyɛ a Ghana Health Service ene aban no de agu wonom sɛ wo mo emfendi dwuma na enoma nkoyie no yenyina yebedi so ama COVID-19 no ntimi tretre ewo schools ahodo mu na odinsem nyina todwa wa abra ibopin no sɛ wonkyerem awboa teacher for mo aye ene de nkora no so ebetumi aye sɛ ne be ya COVID-19 no entretre wa abra ne de ye bi atum sɛ school for no ebetumi akọ school mu o ma sa akọtoa wo mo enwomasu a
couple of times on the same issues and have expressed same concerns when it comes to adherence of protocols and when it comes to how you use human behavior to manage pandemics of this nature. And we have said time and time and again that on the African continent, when it comes to using behavior to control or manage activities generally, it could be health, public health activities or anything, it becomes difficult. We are not used to people following guidelines, strict, doing things they are supposed to do, and it's general, and I always will refer you back to even before this virus came in, how countries like Liberia and Guinea, Sierra Leone manage Ebola in their times, and how Guinea, especially with these sub-infections of Ebola, also behaved. It's similar across. So when it comes to people responding and then following strict guidelines, having some sense of responsibility generally across the continent is something that is difficult. And this is why, for me, I think the president did very well in the early days of this pandemic, as at 21st of March 2020, that he ensured that this imposition of restriction act came into being. And the act has quite some very good, though brief, but quite concise and focused on what should be done if you breach any of these protocols. And if you look at the section 6, it said that a person who fails to comply with a restriction imposed under the executive instrument issued under subsection 1 or 2 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 1,000 penalty units and not more than 5,000 units, or to a term of imprisonment not less than 4 years and not more than 4 years, or to both. So you see a president who is serious, wants to put in something, at least to put fear in people, for people to know that, look, we are not in normal time. So if you don't behave well, this is how far I want to go. And he encouraged the police officers, the military and all that they should ensure that people follow this. So we have been through this. So even now, when people don't still feel that, look, this is what is there, the laws of the country, it's against what you are doing. It is wrong. Initially, it wasn't like that. You can't tell somebody to put on mask and follow protocol. But now, it's an offense. And you can see what you can be arrested, you can be jailed. You have to pay fines. But even this is not deterring people. But like I said, it's using behavioral change. If you want to use behavioral change to manage things on the continent, past experience and what we have seen, it seems to show that it's a bit difficult.
Okay, so opinion on also ochre ade ewo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Owusu yene no bon komo no de science sem no eto yenanim ewo eho na science sem na emu no ukopiem ewo Savannah Regional nso brantama eto afimu sanso ena dams akese ayema ewo Tamale ne Mpotem ho no eno entimi ama schools no bi entimi amia ntuma menkora no anko to awomo enwumesua eso enedai na ukopiem ewo Savannah Regional school ba kwa friend wa CP Senior High School sanso ena private schools no bi ewo honoma womo etisa area ho no akotena ho ni nyina enesen nsu etoye no afa won adan ahodo enunti omuni ba bia fa say school aban asie no ena o say womo ekoje womo ahome enunti enkra no bi e wo Savannah region no ene da yeto ahoma eko honom no womo entimi anko school ewo ho aban no sade tudwa say womo ewo junior high school form 2 no say bi school no etuma ene da ye beno aduane ede ama womo na so ye bo ato ahoma ena afin so ye bo anan eko schools ahodo mu no aduane no entimi amaso ne nyina enesen cooks no entimi ama menua aduane no omo echirem se ahoboa no na NCP no omo ede ato yanim se nyame admo china aduane no ano ebehye ase ewo ehonom eno eyensama eboboba ewo school aye bia tum se wo junior high school form 2 sanso and senior high school form 2 no womo enko school no ene edi bi atom animu no na nhyehyɛ na ɛda hɔ edima COVID-19 no ne nyina omo etimi edi so pepepe ya nkra no na omo hyehyɛ omo max sanso ena thermometer gun no yesade si omo so a Veronica bucket ensio ewom ene liquid soap esi wonoma omode hohoro monsa kama ewo eho ye konsem foforo ma na otwemienu muni ena emebunu bi ma omohomne so ewo fraumantam ho ne nyina enesen omo ese baabi omote no enye bia eka Ghana ho enunti womo prefer ho die efri oman Ghana ho enunti omu esi pampim ewo Japan sa enso ena meaye ahodo pi na ka enkoma enunti post photo mi bom ho moden o Abraham military no etimi eboa wo ema wo eche dom no be se aduasa enum ewo ho na no ntonche no na otwetwa mu ense na otwe pepepe enene eno nso post photo sa ache amanfo a wo nso bas be se mienu ana ekọ enum eso no mo twa eja to mu ehye no dwerebe post photo mi bom ho moden echire wo mo na nsem yi bi asɛ yɛ tete sɛ aban no to anamɔ fa ho ebi nso sɛ wɔn ɛwrenhyɛ aban no mu na no ɛne information minister Kwadwo Oponkroma bɔ nkɔmɔ ne bisa ne sɛ nsɛm no koraa no akɔsisɛn ɛno na ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ asɛbi yɛde Ghana mmra na akɔyɛ kabi ma menka bi no ntumi nti obi prɛko pɛmfa no nkɔ asɛnniɛ bra akyesɛ mmɔfa processes mu ɛno nti aban ɛne di asɛm no ho a wɔmɔ asɛm no nwuiɛ a wɔhwɛ sɛ ɛnɔɔma bɛtumi akɔ atotɔ yie ɛwɔ hɔnom ɛno nti nipa dodo a yɛakye wɔn no aban no tu anamɔn na busumi kura ne da ɛtɔ so enum ne busumi da ɛtɔ so edu mmiɛnsa no aban ɛhwɛ sɛ wɔde saa nkɔfo a wɔn ma wɔn ne so na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn dwumadie no ayɛ sɛ treason no yɛde wɔn akɔ akɔdi akɔsi asɛnnibea na afei so aban no ɛne wɔn adi.
4 are at large, 7 were granted bail by the Circuit Court in Ho on the 6th of May 2020 and to report weekly. A bench warrant has also been issued for the arrest of the 4 fugitives. And then on the 7th of October 2020, the court has adjourned the case to that date so that the case continues after case management. So that case has not been about. All of us have a responsibility to state the fact. It is one thing saying that they are doing it because nothing has been done to the other people. There's another thing also saying that I have checked, and their next due date in court is the 7th of October. If you take the Republic versus David Carl and 13 others, their next due date in court is also the 7th of October. The Republic versus Michael Sakafi Hofwe and 8 others. One person was discharged upon the advice of the Attorney General on the ground that he was acting in the normal course of his trade as a commercial driver. And they are also due back in court on the 15th of October. We can check all of these things and let people know that it is not true that these persons have been left off the hook. The wheels of justice admittedly may grind slowly, but they grind because everybody must have their day in court, no matter how insane you think the exercise on which they are embarking may be. They must have their day in court. We are in a democracy as a country, which we are currently. And you have to be tactful in dealing with these matters. If you go out there high-handed shooting people all over the place because you think it's so annoying, you create martyrs out of people. And you will now give them a platform to recruit other persons. And so that tact and balance must be brought to bear. And I think where we need your help, for example, put facts out there, your court reporters, etc., to put them out there so that people know that it is not as though these ones have been abandoned. On the 26th of October 2020, back at hearing, is the case titled The Republic versus Bagbila Nayemi. These were the 18 suspects arrested at Yendi on the 27th of December 2019. So it was Bagbila Nayemi and some about 17 persons. Those who were there all before court. And it is important that we, as part of this engagement, get all of this information out there a bit more so that people know that these people are not off the hook. And therefore, it doesn't serve as grounds for you to seek to copycat their actions.
Opene otonkra edema aban Kwadwo Oponkroma ene no bon komo efa sa ensesere a aban no aye ene anamo aban no etu efa Homeland Study Group Foundation womo tuate ana se womo subambone omoda na di be na otwemi no ntem na sansem krona ena opene ono so nimde efa bambo ensem eho Yewura Ibrahim Alhaji Ibad Ibrahim yene no bon komo na yebisa ne se sa Homeland Study Group Homeland Study Group Foundation wana ma omutu ye no yebetimi akasa wamana ma omutu no mo pese omutu aban no egu ana de profoka se mo ka ne treason no na eno ena o kirem se anama omutu ye no chese mo du pa ya enya asem keto akra na Ibad Ibrahim kirem se ohwa na mo atuo na aban no so na fam wa bɔ no homodin ye papa ye afen so wonimde se obi a wababe Attorney General omampani kofo aban eso na afen so osaye lawyer ni mapa no Attorney General tiso sese no betimi akɔne nkyɛn na afen so wakɔ akɔgye nimdie afri aban no ho no ode aye ne nhyehyɛ na aban na bɔ no homodin sa asem ye esi ye no wantimi amfa etuo ne akɔde outdoor enwu wo mo so na sɛ woyɛ ne saa enipa dodo na enso benya otan de ama aban no enuti aban no ne modem a otu efa saa anamo hu eye ade bia eso ani na efata pa
bemeki in terms of bonia ni pedi no eno eye emra ehun sensem. But of course, in matters of security, no, any law, because you could deponia, you share or minor embremu, na you choose the kind of charger, you the bemau. in security will be a friend of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And known as Amazenko Batan United Nations at the Omebia Esiho, Sagana, and Pempensoa, Yasase, Yensio, and your airspace, Eco Drew any. Intina Dane Dano, Tinema to say maritime borders, Obetimia fishing, but certain nautical miles, or Trahua, and your territorial waters, international waters. In design, share no ewa hodada. Inti say you could be back as a debi yenka Ghana ho ana yeti ho every Ghana dia. Na I think say the charge you are preferring say you be charge you before treason no. Because when you attack the symbols of the state, police station is a symbol of the state. Police vehicle is a symbol of the state. Highways are more blocky and international highways are connecting Ghana to neighboring countries. In the Bonia Mwedinede but it will be up to the Attorney General, any state prosecutors say or more ever prefer certain charges against them. And again, Mampay His Excellency Nana Adodan Kwakufuado. I think say Ghana for in our confidence and our regime say as Commander in Chief no Ejuma say why be pen. Okay, the first 2 years of the Kufuor administration, I'm say from 2001 to 2003, now or Attorney General. Inti Oyobia Oti Emrasi. Na BBTC I believe that the AG Nankasano, the Attorney General Bepese, Obeko Mampay Nayase, to seek some advice on what to do. And again, from 2003 to 2007, now a Foreign Affairs Minister. Okay, 2006, Israel, any Equibia or Lebanon, I have from Hezbollah, Ekoi. Ekoni Pam UN Security Council or more at the committee meeting by His Excellency Nana Adodan Kwakufuado. He was the chairman of that committee. And when you go back to international security in Ankasa, cessation of hostilities and declaration of ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, it was Nana Adodan Kwakufuado that declared on the floor of the UN Security Council. And he has the pedigree, he has the track record to be able to tackle any Yamati. But at this ready kakra, Yedebemani said, when them say you call various countries around the world, Abua or more are presenting papers on security. Say East Africa, Mekai and China, many the head of counterterrorism or Kenya, because of Al Shabaab and Sensem, which is a bordering country to Kenya. Me present a paper in Nairobi on how Kenya can tackle the issue of security threats Al Shabaab at the Mono. Or responded to a security challenge. This is say one sheye na use brute force. Okona ukunkum nipa o yeni opa. It encourages other people to rise up against the state. Intina okaya. Assembly says 2 Fridays ago. Maybe because Ghana Armed Forces now police for Moko Drew Adentina Shoot Emrantian. They exercised maximum professionalism. Because nipa be obel shoot no I will be offensive or you will be kuno or you will be near or you will be nana into one year recruitment no be easy at the amount and the state did very well to deny them that opportunity into osa isin so emebono emranted saying in a yebre into yachichi nipa no they have the right say ebe screen omo onka ho bia na yesikofi into mebo or abai abaso but
Eno Alhaji Ibad Ibrahim or a security expert mem has say ono ene no bon koma ochire mu wanamo abino etuo ene afei Homeland Study Group Foundation womo hye anase womo so ban boni womo da na di be na otwemi no entem no wode mu ensem ene education e de emaye no oguso a otie akwentufo radio trending news ene guso a yede esomo no na yebeko keteke ensem emu aban a wote so yi nana dodanko akufuado ene na pamfo omo ahyebo se keteke dwumadi a egu mfie dodo a ewo ho no emu no wode atodwa se ne penso yi wosa hyem kena ama keteke etimi abeboa Ghana dwumayefo ene akwentufo nyina na eno ena nansem a wode nani ekire asante mantema sei oba wote kokoso ena so de beto dwa se ba keteke ensem enho a efri ahase asante mantema sei eko dunkwa de no so eka ho bi pa enu ti obehase no de nade egu efom se ne be ya keteke awdo no betimi edi akwaniaba ewo kumase ene dunkwa ekwan eso ekofo oboase na eno ena Railway Minister Yewra Jogate oba asante mantema sei oko otekokoso ena so de koto nanim se waba se oba abedi juma ewo railway jumedi awdo ne kwan awdo eso na eno otumfo se tutu otoso mienu de ato edwa se keteke jumedi ne eye ade bi ebeboa pa ama stress a eda kwantufo eso no etimi eyi efri eho no se kane tete no eno a na etimi eboa Ghanafo a na akwantu no eye wano ewo eho eno nti keteke jumedi be hyase ewo Ghana ha sei no ebetimi aboa pa yenti otumfo otoso mi otumfo se tutu otoso mienu ne nsema okai no ebi
na de ko na de akwa ma na ne akwajiska ekranzo ni pa kwanchu kranzo no ana ne de ko fi akwata kra de konkra nyina eno so ba ma ka kwan so hoto no sika yesen wo ka kwan ho no rewe no wo wa beboa ma ka kwan no so sika no de ko no so tekam ande na wo ha na eseye bi me ma sem ne Ghana sem ajigu yara na de no kure nam so nam bebi na hu na asi yitwitwa yesen profo twitwa kra de ko ye de pebia ne nyamencha de na abai ba ya rewe sem ya sa peja kakraka minister odano jogate wo padde bia bemfi na ne de bia na ne ge tumse ejo kasa ya dosra be ne rewe beba ne China for be akwa kudrusro paga nam ski da be ne be na mencha jo be no be cheche no na ye hu se e kasa ye nsa ne be cheche kakra mani papi yetumi ayam na ye and se no ba ya nyamyadom president so ba kati so de anti wo kache de be nyina and the man ye me den se ono ase ehwehwe mu hu se ne ekrum ha abibifo bi ayebida ye de be ma wo mu no mu so etimi afa nipa Ghana for ma me aye adwuma na ma ye yes ye kache contractor for se ye de ma mu ampa e pese Ghana for no aye bi mi asu hu se ma ye
eno eye asante ne otumfo se tutu otoso mienu ena yete ne nka ewo ho no na railway minister Jogate so de aseda ema otumfo se tutu otoso mienu esrese Ghanafo nyina titiro asante mantema se ye nyina ye nsom ema wo ndwumedi omoba bedie no enye krabehwe
ya manu details kaka be your says your forward offer in social media on fatigue because the job we any at the one show here and we could tell to be now so the problem ba while we enforcement about real life kaka negotiation kaka dey and I can sign it problem online so na ya say it wa in class the negotiate ai to sure say dey you
eno eye Jogate openia wo hwe railway jumedie eso eno ena yete no nka ewo eho no na electoral commission anano ada wamo ebietu mu se wow na wunye mfie du ngoche anase bibinti na okoka mu ewa akwantium a wentimi an register no akwanya beto ho ma omo se omo ebetimi a register omo atwero mu den se ne be ya fi mpem mienu ene aduonu abato mu wonso betimi a kire wa adwene wa bra ye kwa no yakwa ye president ene ye mra se bedwafo na eno omo de dakusi ho ewo district offices se amanfo nko no mo enkonko twere wo mo edin amanfo de ose eye oyo na omo de abetudwa se sai din om de na ochi etwere yi womo ede nyame adoma okuada bosumi de toso enson esi wo se obi enko no nkonko hwe ni din obi a otwere ni din anano na ochi etwa mu no wɔnkɔ no nkɔhwɛ ne din sɛ ne din ɛwɔ abrato nkrataa no sɛ edin no register no yɛ aspɛre wo din no kama na saa da a wɔn de asi wei yɛ da baako pɛ mekyerɛ bosomi da ɛtɔ so nson no ɛna wɔn ayi asi wɔ de ama wɔn a wɔtwerɛ wɔn din na wɔtwerɛtwerɛ mu no nko a ɛno ɛyɛ nsɛm a yɛne Dr. Srebo Kwaku a wɔyɛ director ɛde ɛma yisi wɔn services ahodoɔ yɛne no bɔ nkɔmɔ ɛna ɔde saa nkyirimu no ɛde ɛma ɛne botae nti a wɔn saa bie to hɔ a wɔn ma amanfoɔ atwerɛ wɔn din.
Next month na this is now set need a map political party to me as I started to print it and let you know area akasa ebe print notice of poll and no be show say thank God for no mujidamu for ni arrangement for positions on the ballot paper na print ballot president so near started distribution na the chance and any area fiada na ende no mi enfa be come no be anfa no me jamba 5 to 20 na any nomination na want to confirm say we don't have a branch. Tell the school, well, I go school for Timbra. No one put young, but no one discover one school. But it's a new rate that I don't know for. That compiling from June to this time. Yeah, there's a baby. Who could be ambassador to our Ubo, Baboni being an answer man before we speak about them to Manatu. But no, a provision rate and idea.
And no, opani a friend no Dr. Srebo Kwaku ono yisi mpanifo no bi ne no bon komo efa one day registration exercise on the tour no na afin so nyame adoma na otwi mu busumi de toso enso omo yesi wo se omo de be exhibition no emu nsem na yede eto mo anim ewo eho no na yeko ensem from yeko akopiem ewo apoyamantem police pani a ye friend no Raymond Ezua wode ato edwa se where acting commander edema Ghana police jumedi ne nkrabata ewo apoyamantem no de ato dwa se womo ede womo ani ehu emiaye be se edioson 70 flashpoints afi aba ye ba betui anhwe ya na ede oye nipa ene betimi ama ne homne so ewo saa empotem ho enu nti womo ede womo no ma egu foma momoni ada ho pa eye se ne be ya anamo amanfo ehhye no womo ebetimi etu ase ewo honom. Raymond Ezua eye acting police commander ewo Eastern region
wants to continue his term of office. And we have a former president who wants to come back. So the dynamics are not the same. And we are aware and we know the task that is ahead of us. We are aware that there will be a lot of security challenges. We are aware of that. And this year we have peculiar situation because we have a lot of overseas areas. When you go to Donkokro and others, their architecture in terms of security is different. So that when the election is today, we have to go there a day or two before. So that security men can be there and send the men to various areas. There are some who are overseas, so they have to sit in a boat and the rest to go there. We are aware of all those dynamics. So we've prepared. I mean, we've both tactical, operational wise, and the legal aspect. So we are aware of the legal aspect that we are supposed to do. The operational wise, we have operational units in the region. We have the RDF, we have SWAT, we have the counter-terrorism units for the region. And so, and the men have also been trained. So there are a lot that were at stake that we are aware of. How would you tell region, have you been able to identify the flashpoints in the region as we know? Yes, we know the flashpoints within the region. We know about the flashpoints. No, I cannot pinpoint because it keeps changing. Some of those places that we use to say flashpoint, we're using the recent elections for the various parliamentary candidates and others to see whether they will still be flashpoint. Some will not, and new ones have come. So as we begin to dilate and move through it, to be able to, by the time we get to the election, we will be able to now know the exact locations that we are. But we are talking about something between 60 and 70 within the region. And we are saying it's not conclusive. No, these are what has happened in the last election. There have been other elections that are 60 and 70 issues.
Eno Raymond Ezua where acting police commander ede ema epuemantem aposi for won jumedi outdoor ɛna yɛte ne nka ɛwɔ ɛhɔ no afei yɛnwura campaign ahodoɔ a party for ɛyɛ ɛwɔ mɛma sɛ mekyerɛ ndc ɛne npp na yɛbɛkɔ ghana mampani his excellency nana adodankɔ akufo-addo na so ɛyɛ ɔde nansa si hɔ bɔntoa ɛwɔ ɛpoyɛ mantam mu na ɛno ɛna ɔkɔ mmeaeɛ bi te sɛ asaman kɛse san so ɛna ɔkɔ akyease ɛkɔdi dwuma ɛwɔ hɔ na ɛhɔ ɛna ɔde ɛto edwa sɛ nyame ɛyɛ adom a na sɛ akyease ɛfɔ asaman kɛsefoɔ ɛto aba ɛma na ɛneɛ na Ghana nyinaa wɔfa akonnwa no a nɔɔma ahodoɔ pii deɛ wayɛ ɛne deɛ ɔbɛka ho no na kyerɛ sɛ nyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa sɛ yi ɛna Nana Adodankɔ Akufo-Addo kaa ne nsɛm
Training college, any conversion of senior high schools into boarding facilities, soft loans for interest groups being and ECG facilities, College of Education. I saw for the one cry. You are the no about the council, and they would have to pay crack heading. I'm on the council, so I'm on my detailed response to all the things that you have put before me. And now here and then why
na ɔsan so ɛkɔ akyease wɔn so nsɛm sɛ yi ɛna ɔde to nananom ɛhemfo ɛne NPP fo a mo ɛbɔ mu ɛkɔkɔhyia no no
1992 akyease bɛbi akyina na gyina wata NPP akyia bɛsi dɛ ɛne sɛ ɛkɔ so saa na yɛso so no yɛdi mo hwɛmbɔ so da fae ma bɛto afei menam Ghana mu ɛsrɛ Ghanafoɔ sɛ wɔne hwɛ me sa no adwuma Miss Jones, a former for the number to say, I'm having to be home. Young one is on the corner, said the journey. Now, it's a say, and this is a more mile. Only to me, I've watched my album. NPP, so you're 20 past 1 Tanzania, Mausaso, Yera, Amwa, how one my secretary says, what is
na akyease hene ɔno nso ɛkasae na ɔde to dwa sɛ Nana Adodankɔ Akufo-Addo wabɔ ne ho mmɔden yie papaapa sɛ yi ɛna ɔno nso ɛkyerɛ ne nsɛm emu
hospitals within the whole country. Now, I just say, whether it's now, or you said, yes, if I can. I just say, a modern hospital.
ɛno ɛyɛ akyease hene ɛna yɛte ne nka ɛwɔ hɔ no dasebrɛ Jenin Akenten ɔne ne akyease hene ɛna yɛte ne nka ɛwɔ hɔ no na ne tuapɛn mu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nso akɔpiem ɛwɔ Nkramantam a na ɛno ada ɔkɔpiem ɛwɔ Ototodio constituency na ɛhɔ no ɔkasae na ne nkasae mu no ɛna wɔde ato edwa sɛ NPP ɛyɛ amayuku a wɔn ɛsɛ fata sɛ wɔn di ɔman so ɛtoa so ebu akonnwa no biem ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nhyehyɛ pa wɔn fa akonnwa mfie 9 emu no wɔn ɛde egu ama ɔman kronkron Ghana.
Yes, for the development of the economy, for the creation of jobs, those ideas come from the NPP. When you talk about ideas for collapsing an economy and creating unemployment, that is those ideas come from the NDC. So if you want to go forward, you go with the NPP. If you want to go backwards, you go with the NDC. We are the party of the future. And that is why we bring ideas to develop a nation. Without Nana Akufo-Addo, there will be no free SHS.
Eno Ghana Yemampeni Abedi His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena yetene nka ewo ho no free wono ene dan so okokopiem ewo ayawa so na eho ena wode atudwa se development die ni nyina NPP.
Your mama can say, over 2 billion Ghana cedis on free SHS. And or say, young voting man, but over 3 SHS, no, na aye. Nipa or cancel teacher training, nursing training, Arabic instructors, young for 3 SHS in Zumbano. But the man over cancel 3 SHS waka. Nana Akufo-Addo say, and your 3 SHS one a begin now. Young Korano, free SHS, Opasa Omuko University, by University, no, Omunisika, Omubetiako, Inti Yambaba Omulo, Omubetia, University fees, no, Omubako, Omuya, Omubejuma, Omubestati, no Mutia Lulu, Kakra, Ebia, Yano Faso.
Na eno ena abelempe manche ono so ekasaye ena wode ato edwase sene enoma esi kono NPP amayuku no eye amanyuku a yenim wo mo se eba empumtu a yi wo mo po mo ho modern ye papa ya afin so NPP amayuku no eye amanyuku a wo mo ewo future enunti Ghana fo nyina omunya aresimu enfama NPP amanyuku no na womo ena ebetimi aboa omayi sei ena belimpe manche Ira Ahmed ononso eka nsem.
Our kids can go to school today for free. It has never happened in the history of this country. We say thank you so much. Your opponents say now when they come, they will make it better. But the question I ask is, since he has started, he has the master plan. And the one who has the master plan, he's the one who can make it better. So they should rather come and join him so that they do it together. Because he has the master plan. I am pleasantly surprised of the achievements of this government. And all what we say is, God bless them. We give them another 4 years to do more. Give Nana 4 years to do more.
Eno NPP amayuku no womo nto aba omo ebo ewo mema say no bi na yede asomo no yenwramu ewo the main opposition political party NDC for maso ye na John Dramani Mahama na etu Frank Adiama amayuku no wono so akopiem ewo Western North awoto an nto abo no eso na enum na akopiem ewo Seshibopa ono kopiem no ode ato edwase yento aba emfentia NPP amanyuku no enam se wo modern ma omo ebo no enso ani afin so koko report jumedie no nso afei wo mo etoto papa so ache se enkoye wo modern ma ewo koko nsem ho no eye ade bia enso ani
reports almost a year investigation no start reports no almost for 2 years and so abroni be politics when we are crying to after about who's about to ever after na when they are present but if they not going to get also me no aka and no number to me I fine as we say na me adomiti NDC here dey chance yes ba near beto aso near
na eno ena bopa chief bopa hina wo ho Nana Elio Kweku enso de atudwa se wo makwan ye Akwan nye baako koraa sanso na network sɛ ɔbo free bia foforɔ so amana ba bopa hɔ no adeɛ bi nso a nyina so koraa sanso na mpumtuo de abɔ wɔn yie papaapa na wɔde ato edwa sɛ nyame adom na John Dramani Mahama bɛfa akonwa yi a wɔn wɔ saa nneɛma yi emu akwan nye sanso na wɔn network wɔn de di dwuma nso so ayɛ bibi basaa.
Adisade a yɛsere paa ne sɛ ka yɛkwan no yɛayɛ nkɔdo baabi a nkɔɔtoa so ma yɛn deɛ ɛtɔ so bienu sɛ mobɛɛ ma hu district mu so ɛfi yɛ kɔ akɔntɔmna ne wa paa ka akɔntɔmna wobɛtumi akyɛ mu mmienu ama yɛ na ka yɛyɛ wɔ soro ha no yɛnyɛ yɛ district na ka ɛhɔ kɔ no ayɛ mmara ama yɛn ɛna last one no wobɛtu bɔpa ha wofie kɔ kyerɛ nyinaa network nyɛ adwuma yɛnyɛ network kɛnya MTN na Vodafone sɛ ɔda network si bi ɔmbɛ plantia yi wɔ ama yɛ akɛbɛboa yɛ kyade sɛ yɛnsa de yɛ koma so paa no no sɛ ɔbaa no yɛmeboa na ka yɛto ɔba no ɔwini a ɔbaa bɛyɛ ama yɛn
ɛno ɛyɛ ntoabɔ a John Dramani Mahama ɛbɔ no na ɔda so wɔ ɛhɔnom ɔsan so kɔpie mu ɛwɔ awɔnwin na awɔnwin no nyinaa ɛwɔ session potem hɔnom a ɛyɛ Western North na ɔde ato dwa sɛ wɔba cocoa fertilizer akuafoɔ wɔn motrika so ɛtɔ no anaasɛ aban de ɛboa dendenden ato so a cocoa akuafoɔ ntumi antɔ ama fi wɔn cocoa ntumi ansoɔ no wɔba cocoa akuafoɔ fertilizer wɔn ntua teku wɔn ntua sempoa ɛwɔ ɛso.
Asem sɛ gafili gadochi ɛsɛ sɛ miakasa medimani abewu eti nana menim sɛ ɛha yɛdi akotere ɛwɔ koko adwuma no mu na mekae sɛ abra yɛwɔ abɛn na koko adwuma no ɛkɔ so yie na ekuafoɔ no ɔmo ani gye afe bia yɛde sika no bi ɛka koko no ho ekuani no kɔtɔ ne koko a yɛtua ne ka ne yɛde ne bonus nso aka no ho fertilizer na yɛde kyɛ ekuafoɔ no pii a ɔmo tua hwee ɛnso ɛnɛ deɛ yɛama yɛfiri so a yɛnnuanom baeɛ ɔmfe fertilizer no yɛmfa makwa yɛtɔn enti bɔtɔ baako ɛyɛ 80 cedis ekuafoɔ no ntimi ntɔ ɛna fertilizer yɛyɛ kra baeɛ bɔtɔ no so yɛatwerɛ not for sale ɛna ɔmo so ɔmo tɔn baako 80 cedis enti ekuani no ne sika ɔde bɛtɔ no fertilizer no da hɔ saa ɛma ne sɛe ɛsɛe ɛna ɔmo tamyɛ ɛna ɔmo kɔto gu yi abora ne bɛyie enti maka ato hɔ sɛ nyame yɛyɛ adom na yɛto aba no ma me na ndc yɛdi nkunu mu abatoɔ no mu a fertilizer na yɛde ma free no yɛba a yɛde fertilizer no ɛbɛkyɛ ekuafoɔ no free of charge mutua hwee
na ɛno ɛna nanata no kaba wɔno ɛna ɔyɛ awɔnwen hene wɔde ato dwa sɛ sɛnea awɔnwen asi ayɛ no wɔn ehia sɛ aban yi ɔba ɛbɛfa akonnwa yi bi mu a ɔyɛ na ɔkyɛ mu ma awɔnwen ɛde wɔn ho wɔn enya wɔn mansini.
Regard, I deem it possible to seek your indulgence to request for another district in order to facilitate rapid development. During your first administration, many communities benefited from your newly built secondary schools infrastructure, of which our need as a whole never had one. God willing, you are coming to retain the seat for the second time. I, Nana Tano Kaba, the second, litigation free land for said projects.
Eno eye Nana Tano Kaba ena yete ne nka ewo ntoabo a kane mampani John Dramani Mahama ebono wode na de sede eto kane mampani enim se oba na obefa kunwa na wontu sa anamo no ema no na tuapemu ede ema John Dramani Mahama ono so wakwa kopiem ewo apue mantem a wode na de sede ekwa akoto nananom hemfo sanso ena market women ene nananom a womo ewo apue mantem ene asori mu mpanifo ene nkramofo mu mpanifo ode sa adesede no koto omanim se December 7 ekọ ne ekọ akoyi omampani a womonhwe no omonto omaba emfama NDC amanyekuo eno nti wono so ede na esi wonum a obo entoa aka NDC womonhyehyɛ ede akyerɛ amansan ewo epoye mantem honum a enye asem ketwa kra ewo ehonum ye ni di ne ntoabo na wo bɔ no achi de be piemu bia no yɛhyɛ mɔbɔ sɛ nyame adom a ɔkyena yɛba yɛde ɛbɛba bɛto mo anim na mo nso motimi ate ebi ɛwɔ ɛhɔnom ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nsɛm a ɛfiri NDC for wɔn akache ɛba yɛn so yɛde ebi ɛsom ɛwɔ trending news no ɛso na oguso a wotie trending news ɛwɔ akwantufoɔ radio ɛso na sɛ yɛbɛkae a anaasɛ sɛ wofolo dwumadie yi a mebɔ president ne a na mabɔ ɔhene ɛne ɛde api so saa nso ɛna mebɔ John Dramani Mahama ne a na mabɔ ɔhene bi ne ɛde api so na namiɛmfo sɛ wɔn ɛyɛ akyɛ abatoɔ duru so sei a na kyerɛ sɛ parties a wɔwɔ no wɔn ntumi nka nhyɛ ɔyɛ yɛn constitution yɛn nwoma kuni na yɛde abu ɔman yi a etia sɛ ɔhene ɔbɛba public na ɔbɛba bɛka sɛ ɔjoin ne ekuo ebi na abatoɔ no duru so sei a na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn ayi wɔn ho a wɔn ɛka nsɛm na ɛno ɛna ɔpanin ɔno nso onim de ɛba amanyɔsɛm mu a yɛwura Ransford Jampo wɔde ato dwa sɛ saa anamɔ a amanfoɔ ɛtuo yi ɛyɛ anamɔ bi a nsɛm fata koraa yɛbɛkae a Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɛwɔ apueɛ mantam mu no ɔkyehene ɛbɛkae sɛ wɔn deɛ wɔnim sɛ Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wɔbɛtoa na amamuo no so akɔpem 2024 a constitution no ɛma no ho kwan biem sɛ obɛdi ɔman yi ɛso na kyerɛ sɛ watake side dada a endorse NPP ɛno no na ɛnyɛ ɛno nko wokɔpiem ɛwɔ Western North ɛne other regions a aman hene ahodoɔ pii nso a endorse political parties no bi a ɔpani ɛkyerɛ mu sɛ nyɛ saa ɛna yɛde ebu ɛman na woyɛ ɔhene a wogyina hɔ ma amayɛkuo ahodoɔ ne nyinaa ntini kwan sɛ ɔba publicly na ɔbɛdeclare wo support ɛde ɛma political party bi ne nyinaa ɛyɛ adeɛ bi ɛba saa wayɛ nyimu ɛwɔ hɔ ɛfiri sɛ ɔman a yɛwɔ mu yi NDC foɔ wɔ mu PPP foɔ wɔ mu NPP foɔ wɔ mu saa ɛnso ɛna amayɛkuo ahodoɔ ɛwɔ mu ɛno nti Ghanafoɔ nyinaa yɛma yɛn home ne so na yɛnkasa ntia saa namɔ a nananom ɛhemfo dodoɔ na ɛsɔre a na ɔmo ɛyɛ no ɛfiri sɛ ntwa ɛyɛ yɛntie ɔpanin onim de ɛfa amanyɔsɛm ɛho Ransford Jampo.
Openly shows that you support one political party. It simply means that you indirectly you are opposed to the other party. It's an electoral contestation, and so you must be choosy in the comments that you make. There is a way to naturally. It will be a breach of customary protocols for presidential aspirants and power seekers to go to communities where they are chiefs and to say that they will not pay courtesy call on them. So naturally, politicians who are looking for votes will pay courtesy call on these people. And when they pay courtesy calls, you should be circumspect in the statements that you make so that you don't portray yourself as being in bed with one particular party or offering a kind of open support to that political party. If you do that, they engage in active partisan politics. It's not all of them who are doing it. There are some people who have respected the constitutional injunction. Some of them are actively engaged in partisan politics. Some have respected the constitutional injunction and they have stayed out of partisan politics. As I speak to you now, in my hometown, I saw the piece that I wrote to the chief. And I told them that this is what is going on, you have to stay away. And some of them are not happy. And some of them are against what is going on. So my point being that they are not engaged in anti-partisan politics. They have respect to all the people who are doing this. Gone are the days when people who were not so educated were appointed chiefs. But now, chiefs are very distinguished and refined people in terms of quality. You see, they are highly educated and all that. So what we have to do is to remind them of the constitutional injunction. I mean, the point is this: one institutions of state that are supposed to serve as countervailing agencies to ensure that there is peace fail to do their role. We can always fall on the chief. And these people now are highly lettered and very much educated. And so it's important. Once upon a time, a reverend minister was exiled in Nigeria. So there are people who know the historical antecedents that led to the constitutional injunction and banning peace from being anti-partisan politics. We expect all of them to speak up against some of these things because it's not the best. And it is disappointing to hear chiefs that are very eminent, chiefs who know what the law says, violating the law, openly. And so it's not only about the portrayal that you mentioned. I'm aware other chiefs are doing things. And I would accuse them that should the political leaders call on them, they should be circumspect in the tone and in the language that they use, so that we do you quote and unquote lose a certain kind of legitimacy in the sight of the remaining citizens who do not subscribe to the political party that you are openly campaigning for. And I think it is absolutely unacceptable. People in Ghana must begin to speak against some of these things. You see, once there is a threat of democratic freedom, when there is a threat of inclusion and institutions, some of these surveillance agencies and institutions of the state and institutions that are supposed to ensure peace building have also been sacked. And so for some time now, some of these institutions are not enjoying the respect and the support from the ordinary citizens because they feel that as for these people, we can't now sack them. They are only institutions that we can trust to have the clout to be able to resolve conflict today in the institution of chieftaincy. And you see, because these that can say they are compartments, okay, so they will have the heart, to bring all across the divide, together. If you look at how some chiefs have conducted themselves, if you go to them, you are NDP flag bearer, they will receive you. If you go to them, you are NDP flag bearer of NDP power seeker, they will receive you. And some have been very cautious in the utterances that they make. But unfortunately, some do have also said so many things that behave them as being doing partisan politics unacceptable, which must be condemned. And we as a nation, as a people, must not condone.
Ransford Jampo, where a political scientist. One on your tin can was self futua, what they aman and animal him for a war or memo has say no, not say about one a true to say, Sapa Pepe and Omeimu and Penny for and an army for a beer or more enim dinner, Sapa Pepe and or more a yen and emum, so do a kind and your munina, and animal for no do a honor. One more bomb home to Mission Hosso, and my battle no true to say, yente one more declaration, a ho. Yadbejina and also na yede ene trending news no esi eha say nyame admo china de beto ensumu bia na say de beba beto dwa bia no yede beba be somo ewo akwentufo radio midin ede Edward Donko wote ene ensem yi ewo modernghana.com wote ya na akwentufo radio sanso ena Zeno radio okoye nso a eho na ye akwentufo radio UK sanso ena 24 radio Ghana sa enso ena Facebook and YouTube nso wote ye nka ewo ho tune in so ye wo eho no ni nyina eye akwentufo radio Papa Smiley ene ne dom omo enyina na eso yasna yede ene trending news no eba be somo enwumre yi ewo akwentufo radio eso yede aseda ema mo nyina se depia ne da mote monya bre na mo etie ye ewo nsama yede ebe somo kai se ya yenya agi ato ya hoso se ye ne mo ebetena na ya somo no sa pepepe ena yebeye wo awiemo nsuomo ye ne mo ebetena enti monkoso na mo fam ofidie no ento akwentufo radio yedamase ema mo monitor adesanyame adomo china yebese hia ewo ofidie ma sei midin ede Edward Donko. Asra kesian komo bibia se na nyumre nso mo jepene amode mo fidi ato akwentufo radio ebredu sense mo esisi o mema say dia to ne din trending news no yede ba ebesomo enen sema yede ba no de di mo akotene ebi ene say Ghana Mampeni His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and day wakwa submitted the presidential forms for the fourth time. Say yen santo abama ni biem na omedi omanyi eso. Na no dia to just say Electoral Commission onye nejuma na oma abaye ba beto emu na ho fan on pese yebewia abem ede amano.
The election of the 7th of December will be an election that is conducted with freedom, with security, and in transparency, so that the results of the election will reflect the will of the Ghanaian people. Elections are not meant to be decided by you or the officials that work for you. You are the of the contest. The election is supposed to be decided by the people of Gambia, people who are committed to a free, fair, credible, and transparent process. I hope that will mark the country.
Enye ononko sa enso ena Jacob was say boa ene ne dom ene den so omo so e submit omo forms na yes ye ne say Jacob was say boa 2012 eba no ye hu so ogina mu as independent candidate no 2020 onyina mu ebiem okọ akwakoye running mate ede ama openi e friend Alfred Kwame Esiedu Walker na Jacob say boa omo submit omo forms no one so ekasai
to download the presidential form. We all did, and this year I think is one of the best in that we had the opportunity to give this password to our various regional coordinators.
Sa enso ena John Dramani Mahama odaswa ewo Western North a obo entoa na onenam patakro a ewo sehwi yo so mpotem honom na no ena ode ato edwa se NDC modem a omo ebo no NPP modem a omo bo no ade bi e wo from panti Ghana fronto abano more enfama NDC wo 2020 December 7 abato no emu. Sa enso ena Homeland Study Group Foundation one leader wakasa enra na ne kasa yimu no de atudwa se wono nipa omo edin semone free best na otwemienu eba kosese pass afin so mkosisi akwan eye demonstration or de atudwa se womo enye home Western Togolanders no ebia enunti aban no nyehwehwemu se ne be ya obekon etia se nipa bonfo a omo ekodi se nyambransem no
Sisters, ladies, gentlemen, elders of Western Togoland, my homeland and your homeland. It has become necessary for me to speak to you today. It has been brought to my attention that I am wanted here and there throughout the land. I remember I once went to a meeting, we closed, and I went to another meeting, attending meetings here and there, peaceful meetings here and there. At the end of one, I was informed that several soldiers, heavily armed policemen.
Sanso ena yaw buabia samwa we communication director the ruling party, New Patriotic Party, or they are to just say Ocean Norma Ecoso Ewo Voter Region, Homeland Study Group Foundation, or more Tiatea, or more yene, and Norma and Sanfata, or more yeno, Adebia NTC4. Oshe NPP wa mjumedia omo ADA outdoor amagana fo nyina ajo matum no eno bi na NDC fo shechira omo ya manfo yodium na yinyina ye Ghana fo
ye ni frawa e bebo Ghana mu eni ni Ghana bi e ko frɛ frawa bae ba ope Group Colony Northern Territory Ashanti na frawa na ye nyina ye kabo mu na ye tu ye kin Ghana eni abaye ba ko ye beto ba pepepepe we can be say that I want to find we go on ya nka si eji me visa obi ani wo be me passport we go to Ghana for the deal we see we can be Ghana for the vice president wo obi ani wo na MCC no say from Ghana we visa and then the pia any go e ya twinponi bi na nkrofo kakra bi enya say one of the high things ka Ghana sika sama to api
in some way any afro pin and then you ray some feather donko masin konya mede eba some trending news here channel ewo modernghana.com sanso and a Zeno radio okowa a 24 radio UK sanso na 24 radio Ghana sanso and a oko tuning so a 24 radio ye ho Facebook and YouTube and so a 24 TV. Afi ensam no emu nkyeremu enie ene dai busumi da etoso ensia ena isi ebia tum so bibia ofa forms se ento abama no no medi o mayi so se president ana se mrahye bedwani no o submit eno nti ene dai ukokopie mo yisi won national officer na chesenya asem keto akra Ghana mampani his excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo so kokopie mo honoma wode ni forms ekoye na 2008 on ejinemu ede ema NPP amanyekuo no sa enso na 2012 ojinemu ni nyina wentumi enya 2016 osa baabiem de toso miensa ne sakai wei eye bre toso enan a osa ginemu ede ama NPP the ruling party amayekuo no na eno ena ne nkasaye mu ode atodwa se obi biara owo tibone ena obeka se isi ewo pobone so wowia abanum anase ne dwumadi a odie no enye pepepe na eno osa de ato edwa se wono Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo no wompese isi bewia abanum baako tete baako mpokra ede aka ne mahono onim se yisi won dwumadi a omo edie no ebeye free and fair.
The election of the 7th of December will be an election that is conducted in freedom, in security, and in transparency, so that the results of the election will reflect the will of the Ghanaian people. Elections are not meant to be decided by you or the officials that work for you. You are the referees of the context. The election is supposed to be decided by the people of Ghana. They are people who are committed to a free, fair, credible, and transparent process. We hope that will mark the conduct of the elections of 7th of December. I am not interested in any crooked result. I do not want to be a president elected by deceit. I look forward to a contest that will be fairly conducted to the if indeed by the grace of the Almighty I am again the choice of the Ghanaian people. It will be one that has been freely and openly transferred.
Eno eye Ghana mampani his excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ena yetene nka ewo eho no ene dey wode ne form akopiem ewo electoral commission wona so ya wo hwe se ye submit no na afi waginemu ede ama new patriotic party ama yekuo no na Maame Jane Mensah wono ena oye abato commission wono so ekasai.
Commission has established two teams who have been tasked to review all the forms submitted. The technical team has been tasked to scrutinize the forms submitted to ensure that the presidential candidates meet the criteria as set out in the law, namely that the presidential candidate is at least 40 years of age, that he or she has satisfied all tax obligations, and that he or she has nominated the vice presidential candidate, among others.
Eno ni nyina ene se forms na yede aba no e wo se ye hwehun se hye pepepe a yisifo no ehwe se obedi so no waye ne pepepe ewo eho se o pese ye to abama na be ye president a wanya 40 years eko unya asa eni kwa se ye je wo forms no sanso ena enoma hodo a ese wo ye ansa na watimi anya kwan ame wagina ame ato so aba se mrahye bedwani anase o mampani no oni nyina eda kwa kama ansana mpanifo etimi age na Bossman Asare ono ena oye deputy chairman ede ema yisi wonjumadi ahodo na seyi ena oto ensema yisi commissioner Jane Mensah ekaye no oto mu nkyene.
The electoral commission be kwa koshishem tie no ne koshishem na bidia eye cleaner near the verdict about on things and who qualify to ugina as president na koshishem na sa ne ma na edia na nipa na wo ugina wa ma no kwa na sa the voters card ne abido o endo so mo the fake ne abia ni nyina so e be ba bonten e na se ba ko esa wo ne se obi a o endo so se ko ugina as president no sa nipa ko na o tumi sa endo so bi fufuro ebiu e ba sa be che wo chiamra e na ko parliament so a baby a contest nipa ATM every district home and so be the adansi amonsa asumesi yetanaji
eno Bossman Asare, where deputy chairman edema electoral commission na yɛte ne nka ɛwɔ ɛhɔ no na ahonwasɛm ne sɛ Jacob ɔsɛ yɛ boa dodo na twa ne tia na ɔmo ɛfrɛ no Joy na yɛnim sɛ 2012 otimi egyina yɛ no 2016 2020 so ɔsa abegyina as independent candidate na so ɛnyɛ saa na ɛkɔ yɛyɛ ɔbɛkae anano da the host of Bama so ɛwɔ fidie mu ha sɛ Papa Smiley ne bɔ nkɔmɔ ɛwɔ fidie ɛso na ɛno ɛna de abɛto gya ne sɛ Jacob ɔsɛ yɛ boa sɛ ɔkɔ akɔyɛ tuapɛmu ɛde ama ɔpani a yɛfrɛ no Alfred Kwame Esiedu Walker wɔno ɛna wɔkɔ akɔyɛ no tuapɛmu ne nyina ɛne sɛ Jacob ɔsɛ yɛ boa sɛ abranteɛ yi wɔhwɛ ne mmɔdemmɔ ne ne nɔɔma ne ne nsɛm a ɔkeka na kyerɛ sɛ ne deɛ no ɛyɛ pɛpɛɛpɛ ɛne no ɛkɔ yie papaapa ɛno nti ɛwɔ sɛ ɔde n'akyitaa nyinaa ɛde ɛma no nti ɛna dan so wɔn nso ɛde wɔn forms no ɛkɔpie electoral commission wɔn asoɛyɛ a wɔn ɛde akɔ akɔma maame Jane Mensah ɛne abato commission ne nyinaa.
To download the presidential form, we all did, and this year I think is one of the best in that we had the opportunity to give these password to our various regional coordinators for them to download it and then print their respective regions that they will be going around for the nomination, and so it made it easier. Apparently, that has been the secret of us. Every election year, the moment we get the binded copy of the presidential form, we have to unbind it and then give it to our respective regional coordinators. After that, then we bind it and then bring it to the electoral commission. And so this year, it was easier for our team.
Eno Jacob say ye boa ena yene no ebo nkomo wa bra ene dey no submit ne forms no ebi ena mo ete ye no na opani a friend Alfred Kwame Esiedu Walker 2016 or pebia senka obegina me ato no so aba so mampani na so yisi ano ho no wo mo antimi an shortlist no manfa ne din anka wo mo omugina sɛ yento mo so aba ne yemfa Ghana akonya no ema no ena 2016 nyame ya adoma ne form no eneda wo mo ensa asom ewo eho na yedemo kɔ nsɛmfoforo mu na yedemo kɔ akopiem ewo from mantem bɛsɛ na otwemienu enie ena ikubi ma wo mo ehomre so sɛ ekue ye from Homeland Study Group Foundation ne nyina ene sɛn wo mo se baabi wo mo wo no sɛ deɛ wo mo ahu wo mo nsa hohoro wo mo hu wo mo ho adware enti wo mo te wo mo ho afiri wo ma konkron Ghana ho akwakote wo mo ekuo na eno ena enipa binum sorry ye be na otwemienu ntam ekosisi akwan ewo Japan eye nkran kwan so ofri voter region eko nkran san so na ofri nkran eko voter region kwan mu pa pe ena omo esi pampima ka anko ka ma na che se enya asem keto akra eno aposifo chi be se nipa duasa enum eno ntonchen no na otwetwa mu ne jwada eno so nipa no bi sorry ye ma STC yard honum omo kokohye bas be se enum konson eso na eno ena aposifo di so omo teo na eno adai opani a odi wo mo ano ana oda wo mo ano wakasa na ne nkasa yemu no ena odi atudwa se sansem a esisie no amanfo de hye Homeland Study Group Foundation no ade bia no krabia enim na de on leader na ye friend no Kumi Kodoji Charles wode ato edwa ene se sansem a eba no ade bia omo eni ho hwe se omo kwa akohye bas da bida omo kwa akosi kwan da bida eno nti wode ato Ghana posifo ene Ghana ban nyina anim se sansem a esisie no womo enhwehwe mu ye pa na sa ensem no enye Homeland Study Group Foundation enye omo nipa.
Ladies, gentlemen, elders of Western Togoland, my homeland and your homeland. It has become necessary for me to speak to you today. It has been brought to my attention that I am wanted here and there throughout the land. I remember I once went to a meeting, we closed, and I went to another meeting, attending meetings here and there, peaceful meetings here and there. At the end of one, I was informed that several soldiers, heavily armed policemen, were chasing after my name. We won't even like that. I should be brought either alive or dead. I have made myself available to the police, to the security agents on several occasions. Anytime they wanted me, I went and we had the discussions and I come home. But this time, I don't know why the guns were held. Young men holding guns, young men were 1,000 died. I have to hide my face. places where we have not been for a few days. It has come to my attention also that over a week or two ago, there were the blocking of roads, a sort of demonstration, a sort of mayhem, short one, in the land. The Homeland Steady Group Foundation is a peaceful group, a peace-loving group, a peace-generating group, a peace-making group, which started since 1994. The group had never been arrested anywhere, taken to court and found guilty. Never. We have made this clearly known to the whole world. That is the group that is helping us in the independent affair. They investigated and found us to be peace-loving indeed. And so when this sort of incident happened in the country, and we are being labeled with it, we are being smeared with it, that's good from you. Wrote on mine, telling the whole world that the Homeland Steady Group Foundation isn't like that. Yes, it is true. We are not so. I am advising strongly that our people, the government of Ghana, should take that letter published online from the Human Bureau seriously and go by it. I have on 2 occasions written to the government of Ghana, the president, to let us sit down and have this matter discussed at the round table conference. No attention had been paid to the letter. I wrote again to Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, to pick this matter up. The place where our members of Parliament are, they did not mind the letter and me. And now this sort of things are happening. Nobody should label the Homeland Steady Group Foundation with this kind of thing.
Na eno communication director the man New Patriotic Party Amayuki no Honorable ya Obuabia Samoa ede ato edwa se sansema ekoswe ensem bia ha adwene ye papa na ye nyina ye Ghana for ye nyina ye enipa baako na ekoba ne sen na enipa no bi etimi edi sa adwuman na nsema ekoso from mantem no wode sobo no dodo na abo NDC for se womo na ehye kira omo ye amanfo yudium sen sachira ya eba no ohwe na nadodanko akufado na MPP womo no ma omo de agu akwemu a eno eka ho bi na chese aye dai sondiama endi samayukuna kianeke womo entimi ni nkunim wa afia batom eno nti womo edi sa adwuma nti wenyina eye propaganda NDC fobi ehihye kire na womo eye
ye ni frawa bebo Ghana mu enyi ni Ghana bi ko frɛ frawa bae akope Google's colony Northern Territory Ashanti na frawa na yedina ye kabo mu na yetu ye di Ghana ni abeye baako ye beto aba pepepepe we can be say that the whole to find we go on ya nkati ye gine visa obi ani wo be hwe me passport we go to Ghana for we di wo fi we can be the Ghana for the vice president wo obi ani wo na yem hihye no say frawo kan Ghana ye visa ana di pia se ni go e ya twinponi bi na nkrofo kakra bi enya se on the so be hard thing ka Ghana sika chama to api na ye nkoye ni na omo to abana ka se ye nkoye ni yengo to aba majo mama obi no beto aba majo mama sadi ni obi ni ko beto aba majo mama sadi ni tete di tete amu obi yo mo tete obi nyai propaganda no government pia ni wa obi fan ko fo so mo ko tutu no san ko tutu no nchi wo mo se wa tutu achi wo mo na ye na do fiti o so no die ni mapa o be ma ni fu panso ni mapa ele de ko de ni tabi mi fi frau na me kin kraya free education ni mi nyabi we go keta one more keta to free education in fact one more keta go mi msisi your mama oba bi free education na eto mo mo no msisi oba bi twem nti mo no ma yama dey say mo be sacha na mu asisa kura be ye ni wawa o ti na da o mu pim chichinya wo mo nto aba NDC fa so be no manya free NDC o fa so bi e ende o mo be ji o mo port o mo nyema pi be tu fango nyema pi wo kwa eto mo mo ewo mamu pano e koso nti ni mutipo sabe no mo ye no ho no kan beautiful no e be ye fete convection e ya man your papa de bi nam yen so so yi ya no e ya man your papa kan Ghana ye ba akopɛ
Ghana eye ba kope eno ye communication director de ma NPP amayuku no onabo ya oboaben asamwa ena de sai say kom semfufro ma yemfie ne enkyere kane mampani John Dramani Mahama na so eye na wakwakopiem ewo Western North ni nyina eye ntoabo ansem a oka de akyere Ghana fo a mo ewo sa epom ehonom na wakwakopiem ewo patakro a ewo sahwi yo so eho FM baby na eho ena ode ato edwa se we amamu a na nadodanko ekufuado ne MPP fo bu a ade bia enso ani enkoyie krakrakra enti nyame adoma December se ekoko gina se ekwakoto aba ede ayi omampani ene mrahye bedwafo a yenhwe na yento ema John Dramani Mahama sanso ena mrahye bedwani obegina mu ede ama NDC amayekio no yento emfa ema no wodi nsem nyina etu dwa wa bra wone nananom ehemfo a ewo patakro ekohie mu ena ode sa ensem no etu dwa ewo ehonom na eno ena ode ato edwa se sa noma ananhye bone a nanadodanko ekufuado ede abegu Ghana fo esoyi ama Ghana se yekọ ahohiahia mu ye papa na eno ena sahwi amwaya hene nana kwesi wono so ejina mu no kasa se ohwe project ana John Dramani Mahama ye free 2012 ebana ni nyina kanwuram se yenye biem eno nti ode ato ne manfo nyina enim se December no dura omunyi bum no mkoto aba no bum enfama John Dramani Mahama eno eye nana kwesi wono ena oye sehwi amwaya hene ode ensemi etudwa wa bra John Dramani Mahama kane mampani kokosue no ewo ne nto abomu no eno de sansem no eto edwa na training akọ ede ama asantemantema say aposifo nyina ne nyina eye nhyehyɛ ya aposifo de agu akwan mu a womo ehwɛ sa afia bato no ebekọ so wano won dwumadie ebekọ so wano wa bato no emu na eno ena dwumadie a Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Council womo ahyehyɛ omo edibe PM ewo asantemantema say omde nanum 5 days eye santete no edema aposifo na eno ena deputy commander edema Asante region aposifo Yura David Ajman Agent DCOP David Ajman Agent dia tudwa say sanhye eye ade bia ebeboa pa ama sene omo eye awe say eba asantemantema say ba flashpoint ana say mia e bia ye to aba omo hu say so ma momoni ankoho ebe ha adwene no womo enim ni nyina ewo eho sa enso ena womo aposifo no ma ye ready say se bibi esi a womo ebetimi etu eho anamo no ma pe asem no pomasibre ewo eho no nti aposifo adwuma no ni nyina oman ni nyina na civilians ye nyina yensom na yemo a womo se na ebe adwuma die no ebe koso wano
Security matters involves everybody. As you are all aware, since adopting multi-party democracy in 1992, this country has successfully held 7 presidential and parliamentary elections. This has earned Ghana the accolade as the oasis of democracy, peace, and stability in a troubled sub-region. Indeed, our past elections have always been characterized by seamless tensions with pockets of isolated violence before, during, and after the electoral process. However, we have been able to address these potential triggers of conflict, and our country has not lost her peace and stability.
Now, penny on also begin no company formed into tier Emma Saposi Fui. Your friend Ora Canal Paul, and also a day a photo MI. Saying yen some stakeholders nina, Menumi nuna, yen some na posifon, Jumedi Audono, or more intimate any sene bear some dear bit me apostle a woman may say.
Ghana will be heading to the polls, and the mandate to preserve the peace rests on all of us as stakeholders. Elections in all democracies create tensions and often has the potential for violence. Hence, the aim of this course is to enhance the capacity of law enforcement agencies to prevent, manage, and deal with potential or perceived electoral violence occurrences during, before, during, and after the 2020 elections.
Okay, and some ahodo and then you may. Echaguya yedibi ababe somo ewo akwentufo radio so echa no ho ewo modernghana.com sanso ena tune in wunya yen Zeno radio akwentufo radio UK sanso ena akwentufo radio Ghana sanso ena Facebook and YouTube nso akwentufo TV ni nyina etimi echaguye enye asemketo akra ewo ho yebegina eno so na yede ene trending news ni nyina atimi asia se nyame ya adom na sade pa bi kyen na hoden wo ho a ya kan bia so ye de beba be sommo e wo fidie yi so medin ede Edward Donko Makramo.